How's it going out there, everyone? So I'm coming at you today from my kitchen. A couple things you got to consider if you're considering doing any type of remodeling in your house, period, is there's a couple things. You got a cost that goes with that, okay? And even if you're doing it yourself, there's still a cost. If you're paying someone or you're hiring someone, that's fine. Either way, there's a cost that goes with it. And the other thing is that there's a disruption. When you start ripping apart things inside your house and moving things around, there's a huge disruption to not just you, but I mean it disrupts the entire family unit. So those are things you got to think about, okay? In the case of the kitchen here, you're talking about a major disruption to a household. So if you've got a family, that is a big deal. If you're by yourself like I am, although it's a disruption, it's not that big of a deal. Now in the case of what I'm doing here, I'm not completely gutting this kitchen and starting over again. What I'm going to do here is I have a plan. You can go down to Lowe's or Home Depot or wherever. You can hire someone to come in. But anyway, I've got a plan. And it dawned on me a couple weeks ago when I was visiting a friend of mine that I can actually execute the plan, the design plan that I have for this kitchen with what I have, and then go from there. If I like it, if I don't, I can tweak it. If I don't like certain things, I can move them around. I can do whatever I want to. Okay, and that's huge, because one of the things that kind of can hold people back on a renovation is that I'm going to put all this time, money, and effort into something, and in my mind I've got a 90% or 100% solution that says I'm going to like it. But what if I don't? I've just spent a lot of time, effort, and money into something that now I realize that I don't really like that much. In the case like a kitchen is a large expense for a kitchen. It's not like doing a bathroom or laying a new floor or anything. You're talking cabinets, appliances, whatever it is you're going to do, it's a lot of money. And it's a lot of time. Even if you hire someone, you're talking about 2-3 weeks, a month, maybe longer, if you want to gut an entire kitchen out of a house and put a whole new kitchen back in its place. Okay? In the case of the kitchen here, what I'm trying to do, because I already have a plan, I'm going to test out a plan. This is kind of I needed an indoor project for rainy days, or if it's too cold out. It's been really cold this winter. If it's too hot out, come in the summer. You know, in July and August here in eastern North Carolina, when it's hitting, 95 degrees out, 100 degrees outside with 90% humidity, it gets tough during the day to be out there all day doing stuff around the yard, in the garden, or whatever it is I'm going to be doing. So I've got some things to do in here. I chose the kitchen to test some things out. So I've already started on some of it. All right. As in case you notice right here, this cabinet, and we'll move around here in a minute here, but what happens is that where I'm standing right now, when I originally bought this house and I did the original major renovations to this house, actually where I'm standing used to be a doorway right here. There was a door, okay, and this was a wall. Right here was the pantry, or actually a pantry. The kitchen had 2 pantries, now it only has 1, because this pantry here is gone. And right here used to be kitchen cabinets for the kitchen. Okay, so obviously I've taken out the pantry, I've taken out the kitchen cabinets, I put this wall in here to maintain some of the structural integrity of this long, because this entire wall ran the whole length of the house. It was a load-bearing wall. So I had to maintain some of it. Obviously, down at the other end of the house, there's an equal distance section of wall down there, and then I've got some pillars along the run. Okay, but that's kind of what happened here. Now, as far as this goes, when you look at this cabinet here, which is actually sitting on the counter, when you look at this kitchen, okay, and you look at this counter, or this cabinet rather, so it's kind of how I used to look. Had these legs here holding up on this end. All right. I whacked that off the other night. Like I said, I need something to do inside the house when I can't do things outside, whether it's dark out, raining, hot, cold, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. So, but what I did is obviously I'll cut this off. Now, when you take this out of here, you start to open up this kitchen, because that was the whole point of all of this. So what I wanted to do when we did all this was open up the floor plan, make it like an open floor plan, vice everything was walled off and everything was very segregated and separate. Okay. So now that that's gone, what I'm going to do here is basically I'm going to cut this cabinet right off here. Okay. And I'm going to move the refrigerator and I'm going to put this cabinet in that hole. Now this cabinet's smaller than the hole where the refrigerator is. I'll figure out something to kind of fill that void, if you will. I'll move the refrigerator. I'm going to cut this across here. And I'm going to turn this into an island. And I'm going to turn the whole island. So right now, when I'm washing dishes or whatever, I'm facing out the back windows, the bay windows that go out to the barn. Okay, I'm going to turn all this so if I'm washing dishes, I'll be looking at what I'm looking at right now, the camera. Okay, we're going to open this up right here, and we're going to open up this whole entire floor plan. And you'll see when we start going through the kitchen here, and I really start showing you how things are dysfunctional in this kitchen, you'll kind of get why this kitchen is such a problem. And it isn't just the fact that you can't have more than one person in the kitchen at the same time. It goes way beyond that. Okay? So that's kind of where we're at. So let's check out what we're looking at here inside this kitchen. So now what I was talking about here is that hole that you're looking at right now is where the refrigerator is going to go. Okay? The plan calls for basically putting an L wall, if you will, or walling all this off right here and putting the refrigerator right here in this slot. And then I'll take all this, flip it around to the other side here. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to knock all this off and make it flush, or if I'm going to leave it squared off the way it is right now and just move the electrical. I'll have to see once I get back in there. It's been a couple of years since I've been inside here. I don't remember how much wiring, if I've got any excess left or not. If there's some excess, then maybe I'll just move it. If there isn't any excess left and all I can do is turn it, then I've got to knock all this off right here. And this is all hollow in here. Okay. But essentially the refrigerator will sit right here. Now I'm not going to put that wall in now because I don't know if I'm going to do this plan or not. So I'm just going to put the refrigerator in here and not wall this off yet. Okay. When you start trying to do things in this kitchen, you can't. If you've got two people in here, if I want to open the freezer, I can't open the oven. Okay? Or I can't, if I open the refrigerator, I'm smashing into the oven. Okay? And a lot of the drawers are like that too. And like for example this one here, when I open it, I just hit the handle on the drawer that goes right here. I can't even go open it all the way because now I'm hitting the oven. Okay? And vice versa. If I open this drawer, now I can't open that drawer. And when you're doing a lot of movement in the kitchen, especially around a holiday, if you've got folks over, you start moving a lot of things around and things start getting, can get really stressful in here at times. Okay? So I've got a Lazy Susan over here, wedged in between the oven and the refrigerator. I mean, that's just, to get in here is a pain. Now, I love to cook. It's one of my favorite things to do. So having a kitchen that'll function the way I want it to is very important, okay? This is another example right here of why you just can't. This is where the trash can, which I don't know how you're gonna, you're talking a trash can like a little small trash can you'd put in your bathroom, is what goes in here. But either way, you can't, if you're doing stuff, you can't move around. And this is the dishwasher. Once you open that door, you can't get in and out of here if someone's in here loading the dishwasher or doing whatever it is they're doing. It's just you can't move around in this space because this is it. You can't have more than one person in here at a time, and you can't do more than one thing at a time, even if you're by yourself. The other weird thing about this house is that I've got these random drawers in places. So when I redo the kitchen, those will probably go away. The other thing I don't have in this kitchen, which is a huge problem, is I have no way to ventilate the kitchen. There's nothing over the oven and the stove area to move all of that. This is another section. Now when I put the refrigerator in, I'm going to lose those drawers, which I've already emptied. But once the refrigerator goes in this spot, I can't use those drawers anymore, and that's fine. I don't really care about that. It's just something I can't use anymore. I've lost that. So when I come up with a new plan, I got to figure out where the stuff that was in there is going to go. Just like all the stuff that was in this cabinet here, figure out where all that's going to go. So that's kind of where we're at. And the stove, the new stove, will stay there in roughly that same spot. I'll have to run an exhaust system to get to exhaust and ventilate all of that. So that's it, folks. That's kind of the plan, if you will. There's pros and cons to everything. This isn't going to happen overnight. It's probably going to take me, not just in figuring out exactly how I want to do this, but in saving up the money, probably all of this year to get it all figured out and to get some money saved up to maybe in 2019 or 2020, if it takes that long, to get it all figured out. Because the other piece of this that I didn't go into was that the floor will all get replaced. So new floor and everything. So there's definitely a lot that goes into this. There's a lot of cost that goes into this. Okay, so think about those things when you're thinking about doing any type of project in your house. There's a cost and there's disruption. And the longer that disruption lasts, especially if you have a family living with you, the more stressful things get. Okay? So thanks for watching. And until next time, we'll see you.